Hey guys, what's cracking? We are back today with another installment of Competitive Encyclopedia. Gonna try to pick this series back up, as I do think that it is a very useful one for a lot of people who are kind of getting introduced to the metagame or really need to refamiliarize with themselves with what concepts really are. So, I mean, even if it's not my most popular series, I do think this is probably one of the most valuable that I do, and I really do like preparing for these videos. It helps me, I feel like, as a battler when I'm really thinking about what these concepts are. All right, let's hop right into it. Today's video is gonna be on hacks. Hacks is unfortunately something that is very present in the Pokemon community, um, and many people are all too familiar with what hacks is. Hacks is not actually a person hacking into the Pokemon game, believe it or not. Although that is where the word would be believed to have stemmed from, is somebody like hacking into the game and doing a bunch of things that shouldn't have happened. But in modern Pokemon vernacular, HAX hacks is essentially something that has a small chance to happen and happens. That's what hacks is. Like, let's say Scald burns or Flamethrower burns or Fire Blast burns or Flare Blitz burns. Those are all called hacks because there's not a. It's unlikely that those would have happened. Other instances of hacks are generally just status in general from moves. Confusion, full paralysis. I can think of sometimes sleep mechanics, sometimes frozen mechanics, confusion, hitting yourself in confusion, also along with being inflicted with confusion. Um, just to name some of them. The others are probably like missing is definitely one other instance of hacks. Critical hits are another instance of hacks. Yeah, these are all things that, as you can see, have a chance to happen but are not guaranteed to happen. And thus, when they do happen consistently, players tend to get upset and be like, "Oh, that's hacks." Hacks is unfortunately responsible for many a game, myself, for many millions of players probably, losing games or having games be more difficult than they should have been. Um, but it is part of the game, and you'll notice that a lot of players, like, it is something you kind of have to accept in competitive Pokemon, that there is an element of skill. Hacks can also, even rolls, damage rolls can sometimes be attributed to like hacks as it would be. But so it is part of the game. You kind of have to deal with it. Sometimes it is unfortunate when like you calc and you know you're gonna win as long as it doesn't crit or as long as it doesn't freeze or something, and then that happens, and it's always the worst. I know that feeling. Believe me, I know that feeling. This game that I'm about to show you guys is an instance of me getting hacked a lot and losing a game that I did not think I needed to lose at all. I thought I had this game so easily in the bag. All I need, as you can see looking at team matchup, all I need to do is keep Slowbro healthy to take on Medicham, switching regularly to Medicham, and after that, this game is basically in the bag. I have an answer to everything else on his team. Latias checks uh, Manaphy, hits Sylveon with Shy Shock on the switch in. Heatran takes on a lot of his team. Clefable could set up. I am running Moonblast, Flamethrower, Calm Mind, Clefable, so Clefable can set up and basically sweep through his team. Scissor kind of useless in this battle, but kind of not. But I didn't end up using it very much. But yeah, so I was pretty angry, but we'll get right into it. So turn one, I lead with Slowbro. I am able to get the Scald. It doesn't burn, so that's an instance where hacks didn't come in handy. He goes for the Scald. His Scald does unfortunately burn me, of course. This Manaphy seems to have been on some sort of special juice. I go for the T-Wave because I want to slow this Manaphy down, help me give me some other options to take it down if I want to use Scizor or let's say Clefable. But I switch into my Ferrothorn, who also gets burned. It's one thing to keep in mind is that Scald has a 30% chance to happen. So to get 2 Scald burns in a row like that is a 9% chance to happen, which is annoying. But I do go for the Leech Seed, as now my Leech Seed misses. That's another instance of hacks. Leech Seed is a fairly accurate move, but not 100% accurate. It's unfortunate that it missed, because I really wanted to weaken the Skarmory. He goes on Hippowdon. I go for the knockoff and knock off its leftovers, which is nice, but I do go for the Leech Seed again. I want to keep my Ferrothorn healthy, but unfortunately that isn't going to be possible. But I do expect a double switch, or just a switch out, not double, but it's a good thing you guys aren't seeing the chat on the right, because I'm getting super salty in that chat. Power Whip does manage to connect, which is good. But he does go for an Earthquake and gets a critical hit, which was very unfortunate because I knew that my Ferrothorn could have taken another hit. So that's another instance of another type of hacks being very annoying. Um, I do go for the Calm Mind, and I'm like, at this point, I'm getting kind of frustrated already. I'm going to go for the sweep. He goes for the Iron Head. He does not flinch from here. Flinches would have been another instance of hacks, as I do manage to do a hell of a lot of damage to him. But he does switch out into Hippowdon, as I was kind of expecting that, so I went for the Moonlight. Unfortunately, the Sand Moonlight has less healing, as you probably knew. But the game goes on. For most of the game, there's not much hacks, really. Hacks essentially for the rest of the game. There's a couple instances, but nothing that I was like that made me even more angry than I already was at this point. With dual burns, a Leech Seed miss, and an Earthquake crit in the first 10 turns of the game, I was pretty angry. But hacks can be as I said, it can be flinches. It can be this paralysis as you saw. I was lucky with that against my opponent, which was nice, and it helped even the playing field. But a lot of players will get very salty being a player being upset at the loss and not being able to take a loss. But my opponent does get 2 pairs, so the hacks are kind of evening out. But their hacks can definitely be a one-sided game, and this game, while it wasn't completely one-sided, I think it would be fair to say that it was completely one-sided. I do think that hacks. See, this was a low roll. I thought my superpower was probably going to kill, which makes it really unfortunate, because this was a Spadef Skarmory. But alas, he does manage to roost all the way back up, which is very unfortunate. But I go for the Lava Plume here, I'm pretty sure. I don't manage to burn the Hippowdon. Of course not. That's just not how I can't get that lucky. Nah, but that's just how it is. Hacks are definitely unfortunate. I'm pretty sure I go in for a Psy Shock here. Yeah, I mean, hack sucks, but it is part of the game, and you're gonna get salty. Anybody will get salty at times, but you also have to realize that it is part of the game. There is a chance to happen, but it is very, very unfortunate when hacks becomes one-sided to the point where it completely determines the course of the result of the game. Hacks will definitely play an outcome on the course of the game, but it's really unfortunate when it factors in to the end result, as many a player will attest to. But yeah, I think this game ended up going for a while, so we're going to skip forward a little bit. He does go for the... I think this ends up flinching. Nope, it doesn't. Not that one. He does... I do end up considering staying in, but I don't, because I know that Iron Head will kill, and I didn't expect the roost there, but I thought Iron Head would have killed. Well, actually, it wouldn't have killed. It was a chance to kill. I am able to knock out this Manaphy, as now I have to play around this Metacham. It's pretty tricky. He goes for the T-Bolt. This Raikou ends up being a AV Raikou, which really screws me over, as I needed some prior damage on it. I need to keep Slowbro healthy to continuously switch into Metacham, but with my defensive core, this is a balanced team, so with my defensive core so weakened with 2 of its members gone, being a Fire, Water, Grass, Fairy core. Of course, he also gets a crit with this high jump kick, and that's also a really game-determining instance of hacks, because now my Slowbro can't really switch in as effectively as it used to be able to on Sylveon, on Skarmory, or on this this Metacham. So now I have to keep trying to play around this Metacham. He does get a Zen Headbutt miss there, but it didn't really help me out all too much because he kills me on the next turn. I don't go for the BP, I go for the Bug Bite, because Bug Bite would not have, Bullet Punch would not have gotten me anywhere. Although in hindsight, it probably was my only win condition to have gone for Bullet Punch there if it did, but alas, he does manage to connect all of his high jump kicks. I go for the Protect there, didn't matter. He is able to knock out my Slowbro after this, as Slack Off isn't going to save me here because he will be able to go into this one does flinch, I believe. Yeah, so flinching is another aspect of hacks. So yeah, it was an unfortunate game. I think I lost. What's so unfortunate about hacks is it forces you to lose a lot of momentum a lot of time, and the worst is when you make a good play and a hack somehow prevents your good play from working out. Let's say you predict something like a Latios to switch in on something, and you go for a move to hit that Latios that the opponent wasn't expecting. Let's say like Latios wants to switch into Charizard Y, and you go for the Dragon Pulse on a Heatran, because let's say, yeah, there we go, that's an example. Charizard Y is going and Heatran on the field. Your Charizard Y goes. Your opponent expects you to go for Focus Blast. and so you think they're going to switch out into Latios to counter or to check really your Charizard Y, not counter, to check. Watch my previous video for me explaining why a check is not a counter and why I still need to learn more about it. But yeah, he switched. Let's say they would switch in Latios. Latios, you go for like a Dragon Pulse and you would have been able to unlock. Let's say, I guess that's not a good example, but let's say Dragon Pulse had a mischance and Dragon Pulse missed or something along those lines. You know what I mean? That's one's really unfortunate. Let's say the same situation would have worked if you had a Choice Scarf Draco Latios instead of Charizard Y on your side of the field, and your Choice Scarf Draco missed that Latios when you predicted it to switch in, because you also had Earthquake to hit Heat Train or something, and your opponent knew that. Who knows? Who knows? But my point is, it is unfortunate when it affects the outcome of the game, but you're also going to have to be able to accept that. Anyways, I hope this video was helpful. I won't be making videos for the next couple of days probably. I'm going to be out of state for a race, but yeah, I hope it was helpful. Hope you guys enjoyed that. As always, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it. Really helps me out. It really helps me keep staying motivated, honestly. And yeah, I love the feedback. So see you guys later. Kraken Nation out.